Fun WRV, thanks for tuning in. Here we go. Question: do you like to feel special in life? Yeah, nutnfancy, I love that feeling. I just don't experience it too often. Roger that, dude. Do you want to be a trendsetter? Do you want to feel like you're ahead of the curve? Again, nutnfancy, I would love that feeling. I just don't get it too often. Okay, I hear you, bro. And finally, do you want to feel smart? Do you want to feel elite? Nutnfancy, let's just mark me down for all of the above. Okay, dude. Thanks for clicking on the video and thanks for answering my questions. A fun WRV, like I said. Here we go. This is gonna be fun. Okay, so here's a pro tip from me to you, my beloved TMPers. If you want to feel special, if you want to feel like you're a trendsetter, at least within the TMP community, if you want to feel smart, pay attention to my embedded reviews. Yep, the mini reviews I put within the reviews. Might be in the bunker, might be tabletop, and I'll do a mini review on something. Maybe it's a knife, toy, rifle, a watch. Pay attention to what I'm saying. Usually it's going to be a heads up. Hey, this is awesome. There's going to be a full tabletop review post on this item. If you buy it, you're going to feel smart. You're going to feel elite. You're going to feel special. And those guys, those TMPers that bought this watch, the ISOBRITE Valor T100, are going to feel real smart. Here's my tabletop review on the watch. Again, we're going to have a good time. Good time. Yeah. 8 months of testing complete with the ISOBRITE Valor T100. And I'm talking real testing. Like I ate pizza with it even. What? Pizza? Oh, dudes, you haven't seen me eat pizza. That is a test. Gross, nutnfancy. Yeah, it is gross. Yeah, cheese flipping everywhere. That's a huge test to watch. No, pizza test notwithstanding, I hiked with this watch, sweated on it, got it wet, went scuba diving with the ISOBRITE Valor. I'll show you footage in the Pacific Ocean. Not deep, just to about 30 feet with this one. Worked great. EDC'd the heck out of it. 8 months of testing complete. Like the TMPers who are special and bought it off the links I provided in that embedded review, I love the watch. It's highly recommended. Use the link below. It comes from the website Drop, formerly known as Mass Drop. They shortened it to Drop. If you don't know what it is, here's how it works, super quick. It's a group buying service. So they come out with an item, in this case, the ISOBRITE Valor. They're going to get people like you join the drop, and it's going to save you a lot of money. Sometimes it's a lot of money, sometimes it's a small amount of money. Usually I find that a drop is going to get you that item for substantially less cost, such as the ISOBRITE. This is not an inexpensive watch if you decide to go buying an Amazon, by the way. It's going to be up there. But in drop, I think it's super affordable for what it is. I mean, it is a Tritium combat watch. Combat meaning it's a tactical watch, kind of a dive watch, and they are generally pretty expensive. I have reviewed one already. You may have remembered. It is the Luminox. This one with a dead battery. We'll talk about that. Didn't have time to replace it, but it's still an awesome watch. Easy enough to replace. I'm a programmer. I can do battery replacements in like 5 minutes. Why didn't you do it then, Nutton? I'm just maxed out, bro. That's why. Yeah, so I reviewed this one very positively. I still love the Luminox watches. They're awesome. Great colorations. They're not super inexpensive though. Luminox watches are up there. Yeah, so anytime you get a carbon fiber reinforced polycarbonate case, whew, I need to take a breather after that name. And you have this like tritium hands, tritium vials for the markers. It's expensive. Well, it is. Oh, well, I wouldn't say way expensive, but more expensive than a $50 Casio. There you go. And I love the Luminox. I'm not going to say anything bad about Luminox. I still think they're a great product. Other than they don't have the 10-year battery this one does. It's okay. It's easy enough to replace a battery. And I'm going to show you an auto-winding Tritium combat watch as well as a competitive option to the Valor. Yeah, so I have been talking about the Type. When I got done with this, kind of in the back of my mind, and from some of your comments, you mentioned other brands. They like, have you checked out such and such? I don't really remember if you mentioned ISOBRITE, but you mentioned some others, and that kind of put the bug in my ear. Well, let me see if I can get a watch to review. And so when you use my link below, it puts credit in my account at the drop website, and then I used some of that credit, and I threw some money at it, and I bought this ISOBRITE for review, test and review. I have another one on loan from Tactical Doodle. I'm going to show you two. It's kind of cool. Two colorations of the ISOBRITE Valor T100. But anyways, it comes from the drop website. I'll put a link below. If the drop is inactive, it means it's not currently active. They only activate for about a week. Just click on the link, put in a request. When enough people join it, it'll activate and your watch will ship out within usually like 30 days. No, it's not super quick, but you're saving money. Yeah, and sometimes it's a special variation that they don't make other ways. I don't know if that's actually the case with this one. You are getting a lot in the box. I will kind of show you some of the stuff. This is not the OEM band that came with a Valor, by the way. I'll talk about it. This is a Luminox, by the way, 8809GG, reviewed way back when. Good time to talk about sizing. They don't make this pure orange coloration that I saw anymore. They even do variations that are close to it, but not this exact one. This is, I think, a smaller watch where I'm at now. Go figure. I really do. I think this 45 by 13 by 51 lug to lug is kind of a smaller watch for me. This one, the Valor, is a little bit bigger and I prefer it. We're looking 47 millimeters on the CF polycarbonate case, not counting the crown or its crown protectors, which you can see. 47 across, 14 in thickness, not counting this Nato strap, 52 lug to lug. Preferred. I like that. I really do. Not that I hate the Luminox. I'm hanging on to this one. You see it's still a cast member, still a personal watch. I sold that stealth gray one though. It's gone. It's gone. I didn't need two Luminoxes. I sell watches all the time, buy them all the time too. Here we go with the specifics on the ISOBRITE. And before I do that, I want to talk a little bit about its weight. I guess that is a specific. How about 2.4 ounces? Yeah, that's a huge upside, by the way. 2.4 ounces is amazing, y'all. That means it's a great hiking watch. Here comes a POU discussion. A great scuba diving watch to a certain depth. Great EDC watch. Yes, totally. Great sleeping watch. What? Sleeping watch? Yeah, sleeping watch. A watch you would sleep with, especially since it's tritium. It doesn't require recharging. It's visible all the time. Yeah, I do it all the time. Because you may not have a watch where you're at, in a tent, in the trailer. You may have to keep track of time when you show up for work, whatever. Yeah, sleeping watch. Its own philosophy of use. Just a cool, different watch. It will strike up a conversation with watch guys, especially in this beautiful blue sunburst pattern. Look at how pretty that is. Just a beautiful color. Again, I want to show you another color. Really cool. Philosophy of use, yeah, it's kind of a different creature. Oh, and by the way, I'm not like really stringent on weight on watches like I was when I first started the watch reviews. For instance, here comes a super high value, super excellent. I paid $50 for this watch. Diesel double down, shown in another review with a nutnfancy hands modification. Oh my goodness, that's a cool looking watch with my hands job. Well, hold on, wait, let me rephrase that. With my programming of the hands. Yeah, we'll go there. So I painted the hand, second hand fluorescent orange, and then did I tape or paint? I think I painted the hands matte white with this one. The crystal is not scratched. That's my crystal protector doing its job. Look at by the way, the case back on this Diesel watch. How cool is that? Mohawk, dude, that is cool. And yes, it is signed. This is my point though, not just looking at the mods, but I decided to keep the metal bracelet on this one, and this thing weighs like 8 ounces. That's crazy. 2.4 ounces, 8 ounces. I love them both. I'm not going to go hiking with this one. I'm not going to go anywhere on foot for a long distance with this one, but as an EDC watch, knocking around town watch, maybe a work watch, I'd wear the Diesel. And I know there's some gaudy looking diesels, but there's also, just like the brand Fossil, some really good looking ones. You just gotta look around, gotta hunt. This, by the way, has a bezel on it. I don't know if you noticed that. Look at that. Double down. I don't even know if they make it anymore. Back to the Valor. 2.4 ounces though. This is a watch I'd go hiking and did go hiking with. Another test I put it through. Got it dirty, grimy, wet. So I really feel like I went overboard on testing this watch. Oh yeah, the specifics. 2 criticisms. They're relatively minor. One is the effective face on this watch. If we measure just inside the slanted chapter ring, 29.3 millimeters on the EF. Is it a big deal? Not really. I mean, I would prefer they did not have this slanted chapter ring in the ISOBRITE Valor. I hate it when they do this, whether it's a dive watch, a field watch. I know it wears a military time, but there's another way we could have done those markings. And that way we could have had a flatter face, bigger hands. I'm always for bigger hands, almost always. I just showed you that diesel, perfect example. Big, bold, striking hands. There's 2 other options I want to show you that don't have this slanted chapter ring. They're also Tritium combat watches. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. So that's a minor criticism. It takes up case space, gives us a smaller effective face. I don't like that as much. Another thing that at first really bothered me about the ISOBRITE Valor is how the Arabic numerals are compressed. And it makes the face seem smaller than it really is. Yeah, it does. See how the Arabic numerals 1 through 11 are right by the markers, the tritium tubes? It seems like, wow, man, tiny face. Nope, that's just the only place they had to put them because of the slanted chapter ring. Once I finally realized that, I kind of stopped obsessing about it. It was, I'm not gonna lie, when I first got it, I was like, man, that bothers me. I don't like the numerals on that. Now I don't even think of it. There's some other competitive options I think that do it better. I think Luminox does it better. I like the markings on the Luminox better. Notice that the tritium tubes on this Luminox, dead battery, have horizontally oriented tritium tubes. These are vertically oriented on the applied markings. Still love the Luminox. Let's look at the ISOBRITE logo. Red and black, perfectly applied. Again, starburst face on that, super cool. White markings against a beautiful blue face. We have a red tip seconds hand, also with a tritium tip on it. Tritium vials on the hours hand, the hours hands and the minutes hands right here. Positive date, not day, but date, so it is legible. You can read it, usually. Notice this in the bottom. Do you notice this right here? What's that say? T100 Swiss movement. So the Swiss movement in the ISOBRITE Valor T100 is a Ronda 715 quartz. Here's the dealio on that. I have a lot of experience at this point, taking apart watches, replacing batteries, doing all types of modifications on automatic watches, and all types of quartz watches include Chinese, Japanese, and Swiss movements. I'm not overly impressed with Ronda movements as a programmer. I think they're very temperamental. Their coil is exposed. If you touch it with like your screwdriver, you're going to completely ruin the movement. Yeah, I'm just being real with you. So I think the Japanese and the Chinese movements are just fine. And I'm a big fan of the Epson movements, a big fan of the Miyota movements. So when it says Swiss quartz movement, I'm unimpressed as a programmer because I've taken them apart, I've seen them, and they have some quirks too about how you remove the stem, crown assembly. It's okay, I still like them. They're super accurate, and as long as you know their quirks and work around them, they'll be just fine. I do love how it has a 10-year battery though. That's a plus. I haven't tested it. I mean, this review would come out in 2029 if I tested that. We're not doing it. So quartz movement, I do have an automatic version, not of this watch, but a competitive version to show you. It's very interesting. I'll show you that before the WRV ends. Back to the details. The bezel is a total win on any coloration of the ISOBRITE Valor, which comes in blue. Here it comes, yellow. What? You've been holding out on us, Nutton. No, I haven't. I told you I was going to show you another color. You just didn't know I was wearing it. Here's the yellow version of the ISOBRITE. Not set correctly, by the way, to this time zone. Look at how cool that is. Bezels are awesome because 0 through 15 is going to be in a contrasting white against the, again, CF reinforced polycarbonate bezel. Take a breath. Breathe, breathe, breathe. And then it goes to the color of the face. So they have, you know, a nice coloration going on, a theme. Yellow in this one, blue in this one. Look at that. Bezel action. This is after being dove in the ocean. Perfect. No sand obstruction. 120 click bezel. Do you notice there's 2 tritium pips on this bezel? Look at how cool that is. And I wonder if I can show you here. I'm going to attempt to turn the lights off and show you the lume of the ISOBRITE. Should I just leave it here? No, nutnfancy, I have OCD. You got to put it at 12 o'clock. Okay, here you go. I like messing with those guys. You're like, what the heck? Here comes a lume on the ISOBRITE, and also you'll be able to see this bezel as the camera adapts. T100 tritium capsules on the Valor, which is something I had to learn about. I didn't know this, but there's different levels of illumination on the tritium. This is the highest currently, T100, and I guess they are sourced in a particular location. Here comes the yellow version. This is a blue on the left. You see how bright that is? It's going to get brighter as the camera adapts and does a better job. And there's 2 tritium pips on the bezel. I don't know if you can see that. Here comes the yellow version. The tritium is not quite as bright on this one. See that? Now, maybe I have to put in a screenshot too. I don't know if the camera's doing a great job showing it. It's showing it. Something to think about when you decide which coloration to get. I like the orange. I like the yellow. This blue though, dude, at night it pops. Getting back to my philosophy of use as a sleeping watch, just ideal. No buttons to push. Unlike my Apple Watch, it actually shows the time 100% of the time at any angle, and it never needs a battery charge. It's just really nice. God, that's great lume on that. Now that is a downside to the tritium. Over time, it will go dimmer, just like your Glock sights. There's really no getting around it. I would say about 6 years of really good illumination, and then every year after that, it's going to drop off. Usable illumination, this is just me and using tritium sights, maybe about 10 years. After that, you'll just go, not great. Yeah, that's a downside to it. It's, you know. But for the first 6 or so years, I think you're going to be pretty impressed with the T100 tritium vials. Yeah, I love them. And it's not hype. I mean, I read it too, just like you, and I was like, yeah, right. They're talking about how bright it is and how amazing it is. So much better than the competition. Before I got the ISOBRITE Valor, I was like, yeah, whatever. We'll see. I mean, I have a Luminox. How much brighter could it be? About, I don't know, 75% brighter. Yeah, that's no hype. It really is. And it has some fresher tritium competitive options I'm going to show you. It's brighter than those as well. So it is not hype. T100, real deal. Again, remember the lifespan of it, however. Look at the side of the case. Good looking watch, tactical looking, military looking. Notice the anodized crown right here, which sadly, this is a miss, is not screw down. They should have epoxied a stainless steel tube coming out of this carbon fiber case and just made it so it's screwed down, but they don't do it. And nor do the competitive options that I'm going to show you. It's like all these carbon fiber, polycarbonate cases, none of them screw down on the crown. I know. It's a little bit irritating. They are all 200 meter rated though. Would I go down to 200 meters with this watch? No way, dudes. I'm too scared to go that deep. Maybe 40 feet. That would be my limitation on this one. Okay, maybe a little bit deeper. On my scuba dive to California, I only went down like 30 feet, if I didn't say it already. So, again, I'm not brave down there. Just goofing around. But no leakage that I noted at all. So it is kind of a dive watch as well. Let's look at the case back. And if you're wondering, this is a 22 millimeter super high quality, I believe deep blue brand Nato strap in FDE. Not the factory strap. I'm going to show you those here in a second. Actually, I showed you on this one. All right, we'll look at that one in depth here in just a sec. 22 millimeter lug, so it's really easy to interchange straps on your Valor watch. And since it is a CF case, you're gonna have a 4-screw arrangement to attach the case back. Yeah, kind of an unimpressive case back. I mean, I've got really used to some really cool artwork on the back. I just showed you that diesel. Why don't we freaking engrave a nuclear sub on the back of the ISOBRITE? Can we do that? The one thing this does not have that a screw down case back does is thickness though. So in a thicker case, it's easier to engrave, to mold stuff in. This is just basically a stamped stainless steel case, gasketed of course. And by the way, the crown is double gasketed. Forgot to mention that. Yeah, so that's how it attaches. It's okay. I mean, all the watches of this variety kind of have the same construction. They do. Let me show you the strap on this one. And this is the one it comes with. This blue one came with a blue variety of the same strap. This yellow one right here, it is a thinner, stretchy silicone strap. It looks really good, doesn't it? Actually, not on your wrist, Nutton. Roger that. But on a normal dude, it would look pretty good, right? Yeah, I guess. There you go. Stretchy silicone strap. There's a big criticism I have on this. I'm going to move you, Russian tank. Sorry. I don't like the keepers on it. So that's sad. They're big, large. They don't really retain the silicone strap. So here's the way it ends up as you're wearing it. And that's why I'm not rocking it. Could I fix that and put some silicone keepers on there? Yeah, I could. It's kind of sad though, because everything else is perfect on it. It's a stretchy Nato strap. I hadn't really seen this type of strap before, but it does come with your ISOBRITE along with a different one. And all this is subject to change. They may change it out. So this is Tactical Doodle's watch. He actually likes this strap. He didn't complain about it too much. But these keepers are just way too high. They don't retain the strap. Give me a notched version of this so it really notches in and holds it. I'd be so much happier. So much happier. Let's look at the face of this one, the yellow one. Notice the yellow makes the face look bigger, right? That slanted chapter ring isn't that big of a dealio. And then the black, contrasting black Arabic numerals on that yellow face are really cool. This is kind of how I think these two colors. I don't have the orange, but I have these two colors. This is a better day watch. This is a better night watch on the ISOBRITE Valor. So consider that if you order one. So what are you going to use it mostly for? Looking at it in the day, I'd go with this one. Looking at it at night, I'd go with this one. And by the way, this is not a sunburst style. It's a matte yellow, which is really cool. All subject to change. I really don't know what versions are going to come out with at drop. Or maybe you go somewhere else and get it. I just don't know. It does come in some other colorations and variations. And it may not even be named Valor. It may be an ISOBRITE such and such. Who knows? Notice the anodized crown on this one. Not really yellow, but gold. It's an attempt to match the theme. Super cool. Same bezel action as before. Really nice watch. Let me show you the box real quick. I do think unboxing videos are completely stupid, but I'm going to show you what this comes with right here. So here's the top box. I hate watch boxes. I wish that this ship it in a plastic envelope with a little bit of padding. Came with this one, a black Nato strap, super high quality. These, by the way, remain the same factory. So this has a deep blue, you know, that's Deep Blue watch brand, but it was some factory that made that for them. This came out of the same factory. They're identical straps. So this one has, you know, satin finished hardware, does have a signed clasp on it, which is kind of cool. It says ISOBRITE on it. Really stiff, high quality nylon. Man, that's cool. It's the same one I'm rocking on my Apple Watch right now, dudes. That's how much I love it. And it's exact quality. So it's stiff. You can loosen it up, get ventilation under your watch. This is not really a watch. It's a wrist computer. This is awesome. I mean, this would look great on the black Nato that it came with. So this came with that one. This is the yellow box that TD gave me. And then strangely enough, if you get lost when you're going out for pizza in your ISOBRITE Valor T100, here's a 35 millimeter keychain compass it comes with. Well, that's kind of special. Whatever. I'll never use it, but whatever. I just assume they not include it and knock down the price on it. Warranty book. And then this strap right here. Again, this is all subject to change. They could change the straps. But I think with the drop, you get more strappage. You get two of them. They call it a kit, the ISOBRITE kit. So you can run this one, you can run that one, or like me, you can just experiment. And by the way, I completely recommend you change the straps out on all your watches until you find one that totally makes you happy. This one on this blue one makes me happy. This tan against the blue, whew, thumbs up. Dude, total thumbs up on this. Totally excellent watch, the ISOBRITE Valor, or ones like it that may come out in the future. But you know what? So are these, the competitive options I'll show you right now to the Valor. Here's one of them. Also featured as an embedded review in other tabletop reviews. Hope you paid attention because now it's gone. The deep blue Night Guardian. Automatic Tritium combat watch. Totally excellent. One thing that sets it apart from the Valor, which I like more, are the sword hands. More legible. Also, do you notice another difference? There's a couple. Compared against the Valor, which I like better, there were criticisms here. No chapter ring, nothing. Correct. There's no slanted chapter ring in the deep blue Night Guardian. So we have a completely flat face that doesn't have a slanted chapter ring, so we can have bigger hands. We can push our markers out to the side, also applied just like they are in the Valor. Totally excellent. And then notice how they did the military time. I told you there's another way to do it. They just made it in small typeface next to the Arabic numerals on the Night Guardian. How perfect is that? That's pretty perfect, nothing. It is. This is a great watch. This is just in plain black and white. I think this is a strap that came on it. So it's a deep blue strap. All the deep blue watches are pretty excellent. My favorite is a Master 1000, this Night Guardian, and it has been discontinued. And they have another one. It's kind of like called the, I don't know, the Tritium Scuba watch. It's smaller than this one though. This one is about the same size as the Valor, you can see. Yeah, but this one has T25 illumination. It's not as bright as the Valor, so there's always a trade-off. Non-screw down crown, great bezel action. I think I'm going to include this watch in another WRV. I'm not going to review it separately since it's no longer available. But I did include it in an embedded review multiple times, so you guys could have pulled the trigger then, just like I said, to be what? Elite, nutnfancy. That's right. Same comment if you do have a Night Guardian and how much you love it. By the way, this is not a quartz watch, it's an automatic watch. Once again, I'm trying to think of the movement. I don't think it's a Swiss movement. They would brag about it. Probably an NH35 Seiko, which by the way I love. Same four screw bezel in the back, 200 meter water resistance. Sapphire crystal on this, I think it is in the Night Guardian. I could be wrong. Another competitive option, of course, the Luminox and all its different flavors. Which one would I prefer? Well, I love Luminox. I'll stick with everything I've said about it. I do like the larger sizing of the Valor. I mean, it's not even close for me. I like it. It's only a 2.4 ounce watch. Give me a larger case, larger effective face, larger hands. By the way, they are stick variety in the Valor. Tritium tip seconds hand, once again. They're good hands. I like them. How about the Armorlight? What? Here's an orange and black Armorlight on loan for this review. Totally excellent watch. Really cool. This is their, what do they call it? AL600 series. It is in sizing 47 by 14 by 52. In other words, pretty much identical to the Valor. In fact, I think they're put together in the same factory. They are contract watches. They slap a name on them. ISOBRITE in this case, Armorlight in this case. Notice also they're showing T25 here. You see that? Swiss movement. So it's going to feature the same Ronda 715 quartz movement. Again, I'm not really impressed with that. Maybe you are. I like how they put T25 down there. And then it's T100 in the Valor. I like how they're just saying, yeah, this is what the vials we're using. I prefer the hands on this one. The AL600 series. I like the sword hands once again. I like how they're using a orange seconds hand. You can always go right with an orange or white seconds hand, assuming you have contrast. So anyways, the Armorlight, great watches. Same bezel really, although it doesn't have two tritium pips, it just has one. It doesn't have the contrasting on the bezel. Really good traction on the bezel, but honestly, so does the Valor. Doesn't have the, as you can see, anodized crown that the Valor does. So there's just some minor detail differences. But guess what? As a watch guy, you're into the details. You are. You wouldn't be into watches if you weren't. I mean, details, details, details. That's all it's about. Love the Zulu strap it comes on. So we have like the color coordinated stitching. This is a factory OEM strap that came with this version of the Armor Light. It could be completely different for the one you get. So it's a Zulu, not a Nato strap, single piece. I love Zulu straps. I don't think Natos are necessarily better. It's rare I have a spring bar pop out. These are going to have 24mm lugs, strong spring bars, just like the ISOBRITE does. Again, you can do strap swap outs very readily. You can't go wrong with this watch. I mean, it's not going to be as bright. Can I see it? Oh, should I waste the time? Waste the time, Nutton. We want to see what the Armor Light looks like. Well, I'll try. I'm going to try with you guys. The Valor's going to dominate it, dude. But you're getting an idea of the differences. So I'm not playing around when I said this T100 is really bright. So you're looking at the Armor Light right here. To the naked eye, it's better than it's shown up on camera. A lot better. The camera's not doing a great job. But look at this. That's your Valor. Oh my goodness. And then blue. Dude, that is such a cool color. It's just fun to look at night. It's like its own light show. Its own entertainment. Hey, what are you doing in there, honey? Looking at my watch face? Come watch television with me. Nah, I'm good. I'm good. You can't go wrong with this watch. It's fantastic. Couple little quirks. Every watch has quirks. I think they're minor. Orange, yellow, blue. Use the link below. Be happy. Not super inexpensive, but I honestly think it's going to last. It has a good warranty. If you have a problem with it, you can send it back to ISOBRITE. Fantastic watch. Really a good Tritium combat watch, and particularly good for eating pizza. nutnfancy WRV complete. Thanks to my Patreon members keeping the show going. You guys are awesome. And thanks for clicking on that link. What I do with that money, if I get it into drop, is I go out and buy more stuff for the review. Thank you very much. Watch for the embedded reviews and stay special.